Awesome, sweet. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Victor Tafolla. I'm the service sales director for Panametrics, part of Baker Hughes business. And the presentation for today, we're going to cover in terms of our services offerings and how we provide these solutions on site and also remotely in such manner. So, feel free if there's any questions or anything like that that you guys have. Feel free to stop me because this presentation is for you guys, right? So, and if you don't mind, we'll back.
S corporation.
Oh, you are, okay. Where for upstream too, or
Yes, upstream.
offshore, or just
Onshore and
onshore? Okay, okay. We're actually working with you guys now. There's a proposal that will send out for our flare care, which is the stuff that here that we're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah. So nice to meet you.
Wayne, you're engineer.
Janine, oh, okay, awesome, nice to have you. And
I'm Kanan from Schlumberger SOB.
okay, awesome, nice, great, cool. So again, I have Lauren too. She's part of Baker Hughes. She's also helping with the services. And so we'll get started. In terms of the agenda, is how we partner with our customers in terms of creating some of these solutions, how we can facilitate the process for you guys. And then the verification comparisons. In terms of our flow meters, what we currently have and provide to our customers is there's different ways of servicing these meters. So there's a different type of solution that we provide. And then we'll cover in terms of more of the remote solutions. And then I'll go more in depth for the Flare IQ, which is something more popular that's starting to happen. And then additional solutions along with Flare Care and Park Smart. All right, so partnering with Panametrics. So currently what we have is that in oil and gas or in this industry, one of the most important things or the most important thing is always safety, right? So we want to make sure as our customers are out there, our employees are out there, that they come back home for one, right? So we want to make sure that safety is one of our top priorities. So this is something that we always take into account as we are providing our services. I guess you can leave it there and yes. We just want to ensure that as we continue doing this work, that we do it in a safely manner. So a lot of times associated with work is building scaffolding, right? Sometimes getting access to some of this equipment, it's pretty in heights and hazardous areas. So we also take that into account. Transducer extraction. A lot of times when we remove the transducers from our meters or the pipes, a lot of times customers are exposed to gases and toxic gases and things like that, right? So HSE requirements as well. In order to work on some of this equipment, there's permits that need to be taken or addressed, and just be out and go out to the site. And then one of the things too, we want to make sure that we lower some of the operational costs for our customers. And that's where this middle column here comes and how we could provide, again, more efficiency and be able to support our customers in this manner. And a lot of it's all driven because of regulatory compliance, right? For our flow meters that are attached and they are for the flares, those are regulated by the EPA, right? So all that's all driven by the EPA regulations. So we want to ensure that as we provide this work and the services, that we are providing work that it's going to be compliant with the EPA. Do you mind if we close that door? I know it's a lot of traffic.
We can go.
Yeah.
I was gonna, it's time to you want people to walk in.
Yeah. It's coming up. All right. So so for us, is if you're familiar with our flow meters, they are installed in pipes. These pipes are going into the flares. And to access these meters is we need scaffolding for one. Like I mentioned, exposed to toxic gases, removing the transducers, that's another hazard that we have. And not just a hazard, but what we see a lot of times is as customers are removing these transducers, they are damaged, right? They're either, when they're opening the valve or closing the valve, they damage the transducers. And then the process that we provide is called the zero flow box verification. So this is where we take out the transducers and put them to the zero flow box. And then again, like what I already mentioned about with the work permit, pipe fitters, HSE requirements just to go out to the site And typically we could provide our services and service these meters on 1 flow meter per day, all right? So it's a lot of things that are involved just to be able to provide some type of services. The other, what we could do now is, one process is the in situ verification. This is something very common now that we do. We don't have to remove the transducers. We don't need scaffolding. We could just provide the services by connecting our computer, our field service guys going out to the site, connecting the computer to the meter itself, running diagnostics, and then from there we'll be able to provide a verification report. About 2017, 18, we started developing or released the Flare IQ. The Flare IQ is probably something, if you guys have come to 4C, have heard about it. It does some of the functions. One is flare control. The other one is now it's digital verification. So what this digital verifications could do is that we eliminate all this work that we're talking about going out to the field, sending guys to the field in terms of like connecting the computer to the meter itself. Now we have all this information being driven back to the DCS. And from the DCS, we're able to provide that services work where our field service guys go out to the DCS or to the control room itself instead of going out to the field. So that again eliminates a lot of the costs, eliminates a lot of the safety hazards. So with the Flare IQ. Like again, one of them is digital verifications, the other one is Panic Connect. This is something more new. All right, this is something that was developed maybe about over a year ago now, Panic Connect, which I'll cover. And then we also have our remote technical support. Now, why is it important in terms of remote technical support? We all went through COVID, right? So there's times that we were not able to go out to the field. Even sites that were just the requirements for our field service guys going out to the field, it could either be Baker Hughes, Panametrics, Schlumberger, other companies, was very difficult, right? So, and one of the biggest challenges was that our customers were not familiar with this equipment. So they didn't know how to operate it. And on top of that, the EPA was providing some waivers, but not for a long time, right? So this is where remote technical support became very popular. Panic Connect is where it was kind of developed, that idea was developed, that instead of sending guys out to the field, now we can send out equipment. And it was funny, one of our customers, he actually found it, and he said, can we have those field service guys in the box, right? So, and that customer was referring to the Panic Connect. So we can send out this Panic Connect. It replaces again in a way for our field service guys going out there. And now we can remotely connect to the equipment itself via cellular data. Because one of the questions that comes up from customers is it connected via Wi-Fi? Are you guys getting information from our meters and then going out to the cloud? It's not going up to the cloud. That's one thing I want to clarify here, because that's probably the biggest question that comes up. It's a cloud. And I know it's something that a lot of these technology companies, including ourselves, we do want to drive into that direction, but then we also see a lot of pushback from customers. They don't want any of that information going up, up to the cloud. So all this information is just either being sent to us remotely, or on top of that is that if we do want report or information, we typically ask our customers to print out the PDF report, all the data and all the information that's being sent from our Panametrics equipment, put it in a PDF document and email it to us. Very old school manner, but then again, it's more for security purposes.
You verify from a PDF?
So we could verify a lot of the information from the PDF report, correct? But then for us to provide a verification report, we want to make sure that everything checks off correctly. If there is any red flags per se that our engineers that are able to determine, say, out of 10 boxes, 8 things check off, but there's 2 of them that don't, then we're not going to verify or sign off on those meters itself, right? So it might require for us to go out to the field, or if it's something that can be replaced or done remotely by us telling the customer what to do, what action to do, then we could do that. So this is the image of the Panic Connect. And typically, a lot of times, and not using our numbers here, but hypothetically speaking, a lot of times field service could cost anywhere, $10,000, let's say. It's a $10,000 visit. With the Panic Connect is that now it's reducing the cost of TNL, so travel and lodging. We don't have to send out a guy out to the field. We can send out this equipment, FedEx, ship it by next day, and have this field service guy in a box shipped out to you guys. And then from there, again, connected to the meter itself, to the equipment. And this little compartment here that you see here, this is where we put the antenna. The cellular antenna, we connect it, and then from there, our guys are able to see the information and what information the meter's sending back to us. We're not controlling anything, right? Nothing's controlled here. Everything's staying here, with the customer. So if we do see something that an action needs to be taken, if a part's required or something like that, then we might require a customer or field service visit, or in this example, Hess or ExxonMobil or Chevron, any customers that need to be, to address this issue, we'll be able to support them, via over the phone. And just to, kind of put things in perspective, this is what our field service guy out in one of our customer sites, and if you can see the enclosure is very small, right? So it's nothing, not a big enclosure, something that we ship out to our customers, and it's very easy to connect to the meter itself, right? So it's something that, again, that could be sent out to customers and have it within 24 hours. The other thing we have is the Flare IQ. This is, again, the more popular one per se. This is the one that we've seen a lot more interest from our customers over the past couple of years. Here at 4C Conference, we've had the demos before. The Flare IQ has different capabilities, right? Flare control, it could be able to control some of your flare lines, your gas lines, and also your steam, right? So reducing some of the cost for steam or for air that our customers have. But in terms of this particular scenario, is that the Flare IQ could do the digital verifications. So to your question, right? So how this works is that we're getting information from our meter itself, connected via Modbus, and then using a BTU measurement, get the other signal from there, connected to the DCS. Once the DCS is connected over via Ethernet to our Flare IQ. From the Flare IQ, is not, again, it's one-way communication. Nothing's being sent back from the Flare IQ to the meters or to the equipment. Everything's staying here, nothing's going to the cloud. So now you're able to see all the information coming from the BTU measurements and also your flow meters, and then being able to determine any data points. Now, where we see a lot of customers' interest is that if there's a flare event, historically, if there's a flaring event and they wanted to get some data and some information from the flow meter itself, they will call us. They can send the field service guys out. It may take a couple, days or weeks for us to get out there just to get this information. Now, the environmentalists or that group could get this information directly from the Flare IQ. If it's a foreign language for them or anything like that, they could PDF it and send it over to us, right? We're not remotely accessing this Flare IQ either. We don't have connection to that. It's not going to the cloud. So again, if we want to get the information, send it over to us. And then from there, we'll be able to walk you through and see what event happened or what information the flow meter is sending. Because the other thing that happens a lot is that when there's a flaring event, maybe something could be damaged. So you want to know what's going on in the line. Then from there, we're able to historically pull the information out, or you guys, and then send it over to us. And then from there, we'll be able to determine and see what the scenario or event looks like. Additional solutions. The emergency response, this is another thing that we have, is that typically, again, there's X amount of hours of downtime that the EPA allows for some of this equipment to be down, right? So if there's a flaring event or a meter's not properly working, some of the equipment's not working, then historically we could be out to a customer site within 72 hours. Now that has been reduced. With the Panic Connect, we could do that within 48 hours, 24 hours. We get this Panic Connect and send out to you guys, and then have the field service or actually the operators itself go out to the meter and connect the Panic Connect. Very simple process. It's even the setup process is only on a one pager for our customers to connect to the meter itself. And then again, is typically a lot of this stuff we also can package it into agreements and contracts with our customers. The ones that are really happy signing contracts are customers that have signed before the inflation, right? We've seen a lot of price increase over the past maybe 24 months now. So customers who have signed prior to that were locked into a certain price, and they our agreements run from anywhere from 5 to 6 years. So they lock in those prices. So no matter the inflation that's going on, the price escalations, those customers who have signed long-term contracts, just lock in that price and they don't see any, price difference. And on top of that too, it's, they are looking to purchase any other parts or anything like that. We do offer discounts for the spare parts. We could also package this in terms of a Part Smart program. This is again, a lot of times parts, and not even just with us, but it could be different vendors, right? If there's a certain part and if it's a specific part, sometimes it could take weeks in the lead time just to get those parts. So what Panametrics has designed, what we've designed is we could get these parts up front and then store them in Houston, where is our main office is at for services, store them there. And if a customer, a certain part goes down, instead of waiting the 10 weeks, 12 weeks lead time, we have these parts in-house and ship them out. And again, it's, and the way that we manage this is we just charge a storage fee annually. And then the minute that you guys do decide or the customer decides to buy it, then we can sell it at a discounted price. So this is what the Part Smart that we have. We also manage a lot of we dedicate one of our SSA managers, stands for Supporting Service Agreement Manager, manage these parts, because a lot of times what happens is that we sell these spare parts to customers, they store them in a warehouse. Then the warehouse, hectic, or, it's a lot of different parts going around. The minute that they need these parts, they're no longer there, right? Hey, Billy Joe, he took it, Billy Joe took it over here, and next thing you know, it was in the garbage and someone threw it away. So it's common, or somebody, thought it was something else and they, broke it. And so we've had those scenarios before. So that's the reason we take that responsibility. And instead of storing it your customer storing it at the warehouse, we store it for you guys and then we send it out. You guys need it.
Yeah, you store the Christmas lights, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Now, in terms of our supporting service agreement, we get a fancy name, Flare Care. This is a common name that many of you guys have heard of before. But what this provides is that we provide the verification service. We provide a Flare IQ, the digital verifications, which I talked about. We could also include the PanaConnect here as well. And you just use them as you need it, right? Especially like the PanaConnect. Emergency response, spare parts, contract length, all that's included. I think one of the biggest hurdles too is the commercial stuff, right? A lot of times when services are required, we have to do the T's and C's every year. We have to negotiate pricing and all that. So instead with the Flare Care, we do everything up front. We negotiate T's and C's. We lock in the pricing, right? And we say, this is going to be your payment milestones over the next 5 years. So it could be on an annual payment. Everything's already locked in. So we don't have to worry about all the commercial stuff every year. So that reduces a lot of the admin work for both our customers and also us. The SSA manager and the portal, those two things are important as well, because a lot of times what's happened before is that when we provide the verification report to customers, they could go to Suzanne. Suzanne was doing an awesome job. Suzanne retired. Suzanne won the lottery. She left the company. Now Suzanne had all these field service reports that had the verification reports. The EPA comes over knocking on the door like, I want the verification reports from 2 years ago. Well, Suzanne's not here, right? So it happens, right? So instead what we do is that we manage a portal. So for each of our customers, we have a service portal and we upload all the reports there. And it's through a Baker Hughes, secure network. We give you your own password, your own login, because you have your own specific report for each customer, right? So if you want to report from 2018, your report's going to be there. If you want to know the spare parts, what part number there is, it's going to be there. If you want to know the payment milestones or the contract, it's also going to be in there, right? And it's all managed by one specific person, which is our SSA manager, and they're dedicated to different sites as well, right? So that's also included as part of our Flare Care agreement. And here again, it kind of covers in terms of what I was just talking about, reducing costs, in terms of escalation price or cost. So inflation costs, all that's already, it helps reduce. Less liability, which is the scaffolding, all the safety hazards that's done with the exit verification or transactional work. And the fixed costs, like I was just talking about earlier, and proactive scheduling. I think this is also important because what happens also a lot is that these meters need to be verified annually. Customers get busy, everything's going on. Now November's coming around, December is coming around. They're starting to realize that the end of the year's coming. So what happens is that they're scrambling, they're calling us on a emergency basis. So now the prices skyrocket, expedite. We need to get someone out here on an emergency basis. Now customers are paying a lot more. They're paying a premium price, especially for customers who are not under flare care. So what we did is customers who are flare care, we understand when their verifications are up. So if they're up in November and October, we're making calls weeks in advance. Hey, verification's upcoming. If it's in October, we're already calling in August, September. It's like, hey, we'll be there in 8 weeks. When is the best time that you could coordinate to get to have us on site? So that's the other thing that we also do there with the with flare care, and it's all kind of like a learning process as regulations got more strict, right? So we started developing and creating this program, and we're just adding to the program as we see fit for the customers. So if there's anything that you guys have and maybe a requirement or something that you prefer us to have, more than happy to even include it. A lot of our flare cares are very unique for different customers, right? There's some customers that are under consent decree that need to do semi-annual verifications or PMs. We could also modify these contracts or these agreements to your own taste. But I think this is it covers most of our services. And I guess, is there any questions, anything in particular? I know you're nodding your head a lot, probably a lot of experience.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Great presentation.
Yeah. But again, in summary, it's a panic connect, the flare IQ, and then we could bundle all this into certain agreements to reduce costs for our customers. Okay, so no questions? No? All right, appreciate it.